Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know about different attacks on a computer system, the implementation of denial of service attack, the implementation of distributed denial of service attack, and the countermeasures for such type of attacks. First, the introduction. Computer is a machine which can be configured for different works. Each and every domain uses computer for making the work easier and faster. The reason for this is it has high speed and shows 100% accuracy, and it follows given commands. Worldwide, almost all the companies and organizations use computer systems for storage of data and conducting multi-million transactions. This makes computer systems as their backbone. An attack on the computer system can take the whole organization down. The attacks on the computer systems are wide. It ranges from physical damaging to the system to remotely stealing the data. There are many types of attacks on computer system. Nowadays, every computer is connected to internet, and internet has no owner. It's a kind of free resource, but you have to pay for your service providers. Our software culture is also moving from standalone applications to web-based or distributed applications. The advantage of web-based applications is that it is available remotely for a whole team of people to work simultaneously. So, every system connected to the internet has a threat. Anyone who is connected to the internet can try to access any resource through the internet. Now, the attacks on computer system. First, active attacks. Here, attacker not only monitors but also takes part in ongoing activities. Examples are denial of service attacks like DOS, spoofing, network-related attacks, and buffer overflow or string manipulation attacks. Second is passive attacks. Here, attacker only monitors the transaction, but he doesn't try to breach the security. For example, scanning and wiretapping. Now we shall discuss about DOS attacks or the denial of service attack. The basic intention behind this attack is to make resource unavailable for the genuine users. Denial of service or the DOS can be done by multiple ways. There are special tools available for DOS. The basic concept is that computer server plays vital role in distributed softwares. The job of the server is to stay available for clients. Clients make requests for specific job, and then server does further processing and provides service to each and every request from various clients. But server also has some maximum capacity. It has its own resources which are being consumed by clients' requests. The amount of resources occupied is directly proportional to the amount of incoming request. Consider one client is making continuous requests and without any genuine reason. The servers will initiate the process to process all requests, and after crossing certain limit, it will slow down, and if it continues, then server will crash. This is a basic example of DOS attack. In DOS, the element which is responsible for providing the service suffers, as well as the other elements which consume the service or depends on that service are also affected. We cannot say that every time the intention of client which is making a lot of requests is to get down the server. Sometimes client is in desperate need and it can do multiple or huge requests, but the intention behind this attack is not to get access to the victim system. Instead, attacker makes victim unable to work smoothly. It can bring some unnecessary traffic on network, so all systems on network along with networking devices will suffer. The good example of this case is call drop during peak period, but it is not an attack, it's a situation. But if we know that two parties wisely start communication or two systems are communicating, and if attacker floods the network, then it will definitely affect their communication. So DOS can be used to affect communication between two parties. Also, the same attack makes the genuine users unable to access the service, or even the attacker can choose any person or a machine as a victim so that it goes down. The intensity of DOS is limited if there is only one attacker. It also leaves traces because attacker is directly interacting with target system, and almost all computer systems keeps log of ongoing activities. For example, web server keeps track of all requests along with their IP addresses, so it is very easy to track attacker by the help of internet service provider. Next is DDoS, that is Distributed Denial of Service Attack. To increase the intensity and effectiveness of attack, the Distributed Denial of Service, that is DDoS concept is used. DDoS stands for Distributed Denial of Service Attack. The basic difference between DOS and DDoS is that in DOS there is one host and one network, while in DDoS the multiple attackers from different networks target one host as victim. It means multiple hosts choose a common time span to initiate communication or flooding of the network. So either server will be down due to overwhelming, or network will be flooded, and it will result in denial of service for genuine users who consume services or wants to communicate. There is one real-time situation. Again, it's not an attack. We all know the website irctc.co.in. Previously, opening of Tatkal tickets was scheduled at 10 a.m. for next day's tickets. At the same time, people around the globe log in to book the tickets. So on exact 10 a.m. and onwards, public observed that the site is not responding properly. So someone was unable to log in, or someone were observing automatic logout after initiating transaction, or sometimes site was inaccessible. It is only because a large number of requests were sent at the same time, which makes system overloaded and finally slows and crashes it. Here, no host or user with wrong intention towards the website was involved. Same case can be observed with websites during result announcement. So most of the organizations prefer not to display the results on website. An alternative they have found is sending individuals result by email. Like DOS and DDoS also tries to make system unavailable by sending too much traffic which cannot be handled by the target system. Here, target system might be any element. It can be the host or web server or network router or even the DNS server. The only difference is DDoS has larger intensity. DDoS has three kinds of elements: master, slave and the victim. Here, master is a host who launches the attack. He may not directly send any packet to the target system. Instead of that, it directs its slave machines to initiate the communication process with the victim. In this case, victim is specified by the master. Sometimes DDoS may have multiple levels of slave, means slave to slave or slave to slave to slave. Here, slave means a system which works for the system. Sometimes it is compromised system. The problem with compromised system is that the actual user is totally unaware about the system being used by the master system to attack on another system, that is the victim. Here, it is very difficult to track and identify the real master behind the attack. There are some self-reflecting programs on internet that infect the host and send details of host to the master, and then master uses that host to initiate the DDoS. Now we shall talk about the tools for DNS. First is Windows DOS. DOS stands for Disk Operating System. It's a nice facility provided by Windows. We can manage file system, configure network and manage process by using denial of service commands. There is a command ping available on DOS. Ping is used to check the status of target system, whether it is up or down. Any network can ping another device. In reply, the receiver of ping request has to answer or reply back. Ping victim IP address, where N stands for the number of DOS attempts. It can be replaced by -T, which stands for infinite. Victim IP is the IP address of the site you want to attack. -W 0.00001. It is the waiting time after one ping attack. -1 represents size of ping packet. The above value is the highest value. If we modify the above command for the specific victim, then our system will send continuous ping request to the victim system. It's an Internet Control Message Protocol, that is ICMP packet. This is a sample output. In this example, we can ping for specified address. 1472 is size of each packet. Larger the packet, larger will be the traffic and heavier to the victim to accept and process the same. We can see the example, the ping statistics and the approximate round trip times in milliseconds. Next is ALAND. This is a tool to perform local area denial of service attack. Here the attacker broadcasts an ICMP packet, but it mentions victim's IP address as a source IP address of that packet. Broadcast means that packet can be received by all computers present on current network. When all the computers receive this packet, then immediately send reply, but all replies are intended to victim because its address is mentioned as a source of that packet. So again, this attack is difficult to track because attacker is not communicating directly with the victim, and there is no need of the compromised host. We can see the picture which shows the attacking system, victim system and the broadcast enabled network, which are all connected to the internet. Next is Phuong. It is a tool for DOS attack and it uses CPU resource of the target system and makes system unusable for the user. Next is attacking on specific port. There are many tools which identifies the open ports of the target system, and then we can use another tools to send packets to those open ports. If port is open, then it will reply to our message. There are some standard ports for a specific purpose. For example, port 80 is for HTTP, port 443 for HTTPS and 139 for printer or file sharing. Next is Jolt 2. It sends many fragmented tools to the target system. Target system has to spend its time and resource to assemble the incoming packet. It increases the computational work of the target system. So again, it's a headache for the firewall or the monitoring software. Next is Bubonic attack. It sends random TCP packets to the victim. The victim waits for the further communication and more number of open sessions. More resources are acquired in this attack. Next is sync attack. TCP communication is a three-way handshaking protocol. first computer has to approach to second, and second computer will acknowledge the first computer. After that, first will send the confirmation and then they will start the communication. In this strategy, attacker just sends the request to initiate the procedure and victim sends ACK and waits for further communication. Again, attacker sends the confirmation message to the victim and then simply he closes the communication, but at the victim's end, it keeps session open for further communication. By that time, attacker can use another port and retry for another session with the same victim. Now we'll see the countermeasures for the DOS attack. There is no independent solution to face DOS or DDoS attack. Some of the popular and effective solutions are: first, network-ingress filtering. They should be provided and implemented by network service provider and network owners. They should monitor ongoing activity. They can avoid spoofing, so no one will be able to inject faked packs on the internet. Most of the firewalls and internet routers provide this facility. There is a default facility: any broadcast packet will not be forwarded outside by the network boundary router. Second is rate limiting network traffic. Here user or administrator can decide volume limitation meant for traffic. It can give weightage to a specific protocol. It is also known as traffic shaping. Third, intrusion detection system. It works like a strategy of antivirus, as antivirus knows signatures of known viruses. Similarly, IDS has a database for known attacks, their communication patterns and their rules, but it doesn't have ability to learn. So it may not be able to handle new variants in the DDoS attack. Fourth is automated network auditing tools. These tools monitor each and every packet. It is time consuming and it needs cooperation from all the networks. Fifth, using and configuring the firewall. It is so better to maintain network log and review it periodically. It will let user know the frequent activities. According to that, it can be used to make rules in firewall. For example, blocking all internet control message protocol, that is ICMP packets from outside network, etc. We'll end this module with the summary. Communication is the backbone of every distributed or web application. Every system has a capacity to act as a host and victim for the denial of service and distributed denial of service attacks. The easy way to attack enemy is to flood him or flood his server. Denial of service and distributed denial of service are similar techniques. Denial of service may leave trace behind, but distributed denial of service does not. Nature of the protocol can be used as a weapon against any system. Thank you.